My name's Kathleen. I am the Woundcare and Medical Consumable Specialist working at Bunzl. A bit of my background is that I have a degree in nursing, or Bachelor of Nursing. So I've worked for Bunzl altogether for just over 3.5 years. So I looked at becoming a nurse when I was in my later years of high school. My mum worked as a registered nurse, so I always had this really nice association with mum being in a caring role, and I just wanted to be able to follow in her footsteps a little bit. So I went on to do a nursing degree for a few years. I finished that degree and worked in the public health system for a couple of years. A bit of background for myself, I worked in paediatric oncology, so it was a pretty full-on role to get into straight out of uni. But really after a couple of years I was ready to look at something a little bit different, something that would challenge me in a bit of a different way. So a friend recommended that I looked into a sales role and sort of just started my journey from there. Met with a few recruiters, some people who tried to look at different sales positions that would involve a bit of my clinical background, and then I was able to interview with Bunzl, where I was met part of the team and really found a bit of an attraction to a sales role, but also being much in the way of a support role within aged care. And that's where really my journey began with Bunzl. So I guess in nursing, a big part of the role, people often associate nurses with people who care and to help people when they're sick. So coming into this role, into a sales position, I felt like the challenge would be quite a lot different to what I was used to, but I feel that a lot of what was spoken about and what we did within a nursing background really helped that transition into a sales role. So if you look at some of those qualities and some of those traits, I think you do need to have an element of caring and a bit of compassion in a role such as the one that I do. So a big part of the role that I do at the moment is going out to particularly aged care facilities, talking to managers, providing training for staff, and I think really with all of what incorporates with all of that side of the role is that you do need to be able to have conversations with people. You need to understand when people may not be able to make appointments, or if you have residents that walk into some of your training, which can be quite an interesting scenario to go through, but you have to be able to put some of those skills back, caring, compassion, patience, the things that you learn working as a nurse. And I think if you look at it from the point of view that as nurses you have patients that you care for in a hospital, in this sort of situation we have clients or customers in this sales role, and I think in a lot of ways we still working to service people, ultimately our end users in this sales role, and very similar to what you do in nursing, that you're working at the end of the day to do the right thing for the patient. So I think if you can really transfer a lot of that from nursing into this sales role. So I think initially when I came on board with Bunzl, again I haven't had any experience from a sales background, but all of my experience was clinical and in a nursing background. So I really felt very supported coming into the role. A lot of the focus at the beginning was on building relationship and just getting to know your customers, getting to know the people that you were working with. So that was the big focus at the beginning, and learning the training materials. And then all the sales background came pretty naturally after that. So it took a bit of work and a bit of training, but it was really rewarding to learn that kind of the sales cycle and how we can build better relationships with our customers. Bunzl put us through a wide range of training to be able to support us with that, whether it's operating our systems or going into sales road training where we identify our customers and what we can do to provide more value to them, which is really the focus for the company. And that's really exciting to be a part of, because it just means that it is helping your sales cycle a lot easier, or making it a lot easier, but it's also providing value and ultimately something that the customer can take away at the end of the day. The thing that I enjoy the most about working with Bunzl, I guess there's a couple of elements of it. So professionally, I love getting out there and doing training and networking with like-minded individuals, so at aged care facilities, but also working really closely with colleagues. So we have a really good team environment here at Bunzl where we all support each other, and there's days where they're a bit tougher, but you've got people that can give you a bit of support and have a bit of a laugh with you to make the days a little bit better. So I think really it's just a good mix of that time that you spend out in field with our customers and making sure that you're meeting their needs and providing what they need for them to be successful in their role, making sure that you're giving training on best practice and what is current, which is exciting because you empower individuals to make those kinds of decisions for themselves. And then you can come back into an environment where you get to have a bit of fun from the day-to-day roles, and then on some weeks we get to have activities and things that provide a bit of extra kind of excitement around the office. So there's a couple of things that make the job really exciting.